It's a special report from Higher Minds.
Read all about it. Listen all about it.
I'm Katie.
I'm Papa Darby. Oh, strike that. Reverse it.
How is everybody? All right, let's get to it. Fuck it. So yeah, we posted yesterday and we're gonna post again today.
We're wild.
But fucking what happened? Why are we posting?
Maxwell was found and arrested. Boom.
Oh my god! We were just fucking talking about this shit. Where the fuck is she? Well, we thought she was in France, but turns out she was in New Hampshire. So I'm going to read this article. I'm going to read this article from the BBC. And it's entitled Jeffrey Epstein ex-girlfriend Ghislaine Maxwell arrested by FBI. Ooh. So, British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell, an ex-girlfriend of convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, is facing charges in the U.S. after being arrested by the FBI. She is accused of assisting Epstein's abuse of minors by helping to recruit and groom victims known to be underage. She was arrested in New Hampshire and is due in federal court later on Thursday. Prosecutors will oppose bail. Miss Maxwell was previously denied any involvement, Miss Maxwell has previously denied any involvement in or knowledge of Epstein's alleged sexual misconduct. Epstein died in prison on 10 August as he awaited without the chance of bail his trial on sex trafficking charges. He was arrested last year in New York following allegations that he was running a network of underage girls, some as young as 14, for sex. His death was determined to be suicide, which is bullshit.
Lies on lies on lies.
I think Maxwell's death is going to be determined to be an accident somehow this year, very soon. COVID, I think it's going to be COVID. Prosecutors allege that between it is right that between 1994 and 1997, Miss Maxwell helped Epstein groom girls as young as 14. The charges say that she would build a rapport with them, including by taking them shopping or to the movies, and would later coax them into giving Epstein massages during which they were sexually abused. Quote, Maxwell played a critical role in helping Epstein identify, befriend, and groom minor victims for abuse, said Audrey Strauss, acting attorney for the Southern District of New York. We saw her, I sent you the link to her press conference today. She did that today. I was super excited. I watched it twice and masturbated one time.
She really gave the photo op there when she was pointing to the poster, too.
I know, right? She sat there for
like her heart. That
30
was
seconds.
Exaggerated.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
You know, that's a proud moment for her, though. I'm proud of her. I would let her stand all fucking day pointing to that picture.
She's like, take them pictures. Did you get my good side?
All right, so 4 of the 6 charges related to the years 1994 through 1997, when Miss Maxwell was, according to the indictment, among Epstein's closest associates and also in an intimate relationship with him. The other 2 charges are allegations of perjury in 2016. The indictment says Miss Maxwell assisted, facilitated, and contributed to Jeffrey Epstein's abuse of minors by, among other things, helping Epstein recruit, groom, and ultimately abuse victims known to Maxwell and Epstein to be under the age of 18. Specifically, she is charged with 1, conspiracy to entice minors to travel to engage in illegal sex acts. 2, enticing a minor to travel to engage in illegal sex acts. 3, conspiracy to transport minors with intent to engage in criminal sexual activity. 4, transporting a minor with intent to engage in criminal sexual activity. 5, being a fucking cunt whore. Fuck this bitch.
And she dresses so bad.
But she's a British socialite. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she's accused of grooming multiple minor girls to engage in sex acts with Epstein. She's allegedly attempted to befriend them by asking in their lives, blah, 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 blah. Okay, background. Allegations against Epstein has dated back years before the parents of a 14-year-old girl said he had molested her in 2005. Under a legal deal, he avoided federal charges, and since 2008, he was listed as level 3 on the New York Sex Offenders Register. But he was arrested again in New York on 6 July 19 and accused of sex trafficking of underage girls over a number of years. Some of Epstein's alleged victims had accused Miss Maxwell of bringing them into his circle to be sexually abused by him and his friends. And his friends. And his friends.
Friends. I got friends in places.
All right, so this goes on. Who is Ghislaine? Real quick. Miss Maxwell is the daughter of a late British media mogul Robert Maxwell. Well-connected socialite, she is said to have introduced Epstein to many of her wealthy and powerful friends, including Bill Clinton and the Duke of York, who was accused in 2015 court papers of touching a woman at Jeffrey Epstein's U.S. home, although the court subsequently struck out the allegations against the Duke because this motherfucker can get princesses killed. Which he did in, when was it, 96? When he killed his sister-in-law? Fuck this asshole. Buckingham Palace has said that any suggestion of impropriety with underage minors by the Duke was categorically untrue. Miss Maxwell has mostly been out of public since 2016. So, the fucking royal family did all this shit. Or was a part of this. At least Prince Andrew. I'm not sure that anybody else was. Like insanely. Like, yes, yeah. Like Epstein and him were best friends. Besides Ghislaine, I bet the three of them had threesomes.
Oh, they did. Orgies.
So, oh yeah. So, are you going to describe those?
Maybe not so much those.
Yeah. Okay, good. What's up?
So here's where I went with it. I have been following this for a while, so I follow several people who just give information when there's not even information to be given. So during all the COVID, she fled to Paris, and she has a flat there that's literally 5 minutes away from Epstein's like $7 million apartment. And in between that, those two apartments is the Israeli embassy. Yes. All in like 5 minutes, like walk, not even drive. And it was raided by the police, the French police, in last September, which is kind of interesting. But of course, nothing.
Her apartment or his apartment? Or the Israeli embassy?
His apartment.
The Israeli embassy was absolutely not.
Yes.
Are you suggesting the Israeli embassy had something to do with it? Or the Israelis had something to do with it?
Well, there's that just kind of fuels the theories, because there's a lot of theories of that she was like foreign intelligence asset, because that Epstein was part of Mossad. So there's a lot of conspiracy. There could be a whole episode about that. There's so much crap out there about it. But this and her being seen outside of the embassy so frequently during all of this has just like sparked the flames to all these theories of who's protecting her, why she's there, blah, 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 blah. All of that could be completely made up. But it's still interesting how it, where she's at. Just interesting. She'd been but spotted seen several times during COVID with her little fancy head wraps and scarves, shoulders, you know, fancy people. But she still wears the same crazy jewelry that pretty much is how everyone's kind of identifying her.
Did you ever watch Dexter?
A little bit. I think I got through the first season.
Did you ever do you remember who the crazy girlfriend who set his shit on fire was? Do you remember that season?
No.
That brunette saw her topless a bunch, at least a couple of times.
I didn't pay that much.
Anyway, she looks almost exactly. She looks like a young Ghislaine Maxwell.
Really?
I think she should play her in the movie. Yeah.
Ooh, in the
but I haven't heard from her in a while. She's a yeah, but she's also British too. So.
Huh. Interesting. Well, so in all the articles, they kept calling a bolt hole. And I just kept reading his hole. Yeah. Do you know what it is? I had to look it up because I'm like, what the hell is this?
No.
It means it's a secret refuge, means to escape, or in like coal mining, it means something else. But I kept reading it as butthole. I'm like, why do they keep saying butthole so much? But that's what they're calling her getaway in Paris. Anyways, this said apartment.
Paris getaway was a butthole.
So the apartment is linked to a multi-millionaire business contact who is based in Normandy. He has offered it to her to keep his name out of her mouth. Just kidding. As a means to hide. But like, why else would you just like give someone like that because she's in hiding your estate? That just, I mean, clearly there's some involvement. So she remained in Paris during the whole lockdown. which for them started back in March, and hope to benefit from her status as a French citizen to avoid extraction, should she face any charges. But that all changed today.
Yeah, it did in New Hampshire at 8:30 this morning.
Yes. So they've been following, obviously, her moves. She bought I wrote this down before, and actually when you called me, I was just like delving into a deeper dig in it because it's very interesting. But I forget it was the first or second guy that made the comment about her picking her up on whatever property there. There was reports that she bought a property, 156-acre property, all cash, using an LLC to hide her name in December. I got that from Daily Mail, UK friend.
Interesting.
But in my original, like when you told me about this, jotting my crazy down on paper.
Yeah.
She had an ocean marine life nonprofit that they laundered. And as soon as all of this came, I wanted to dig deeper to see if that was the LLC she used to buy this property, was her Ocean Marina Foundation, which everyone has a foundation. We all know what foundations are for. So, but I want to look into that because that's interesting.
Are you saying foundations are dog whistle for kid fucking?
No, it's money laundering. That's how they all funnel money and pay for things and wash money and whatever they need to do with money. They all have foundations and organizations that seem to just clean that all up for them. So yeah.
So they can all go and fuck kids more easily.
Ugh.
These disgusting fucking group of people. I was so hopeful when Epstein really got arrested and all this shit will come out.
Yeah.
How is this bitch not gonna die? How is she not gonna die?
Like, yeah. It's alarming. I think even her, whatever with the judge this afternoon is supposed to be just through video. They're not like transporting her, nothing. They have her, she's here. We're going to do everything via Zoom. You know what I mean?
Right. So that's going to be COVID. But I mean, the very people who are charging her are the people that, I'm not saying the very people that are charging her, but the people who are in charge of the people that are charging her are the people that were in cahoots with her. So I just don't see how this is ever going to end. Like, I don't see them letting this get out. I don't see the subordinates in the Justice Department.
Are you saying like Trump?
Being allowed.
Is that what you're like getting at? Just
no, not just. Well, yes, Trump too, but not just him. Like the entire, everybody who's in charge, just everybody who's in charge of everything.
I'm
talking about Bezos. I'm talking about Stephen Hawking. I'm talking about Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle was on his fucking plane. Do you know who that is?
No.
Hotel Rwanda. Fucking. War Machine on Iron Man. Fucking that guy. God damn.
That's a good movie. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah. Rwanda, not Wakanda. Wakanda is a different movie.
Isn't that You're silly. Because I was saying in my head, I'm like thinking of their channel, like, that ain't it.
No, you're sitting there staring at my Wakanda tattoo and you're like, Wakanda?
You're a liar. So just to bring Prince Andrew back into it, because he needs to go down so fiery for his involvement. And I feel like he'll be the fall man for all of their involvement, which is super shitty, but I want to see somebody go down. So he would be
among the top though. Like, I would say that he's in the top 3, which
this old bitch, I need to see her die in my lifetime.
I think you will.
Hopefully. Sooner than later.
Gnats that were born today will see her die in their lifetime. Like the little bugs that only live for a little while.
Well, depending on what happens with this guy, that could be true. So he was introduced by Maxwell. Supposedly, she introduced him to the U.S. sex slave market, and his person of choice for a while was a young girl by the name of Virginia Roberts. I read a whole...
Hey, hold on a second.
Yes.
Sorry, going back. before you get into him, sorry. She was caught in the U.S., but she was in Paris. What the fuck brought her to the U.S.?
See, I don't. She bought that property, but it just seems like no matter what, why would she come here to hide? Because as soon as she's on this property, she's caught and charged. You know what I mean? She has to, because if she's there, she's safe because as a citizen there, despite your crime, they can't extract you from France. You know what I mean? Like she was safe there. So even though they were looking for
extradite, but
oh yeah,
yeah, they can. We have extradition treaties with France. They're part of the yeah. They're part of the
whole. I should have screenshot that. There was some sort of French law, and it was like you can't. I don't know French law well enough, though.
it's that the powerful people in France won't give up their
friends,
sex operators. Yeah, that's what it is.
The people who know their names,
right? But so what I'm thinking is she was probably coerced to come back to the U.S. Like she had a friend say, "Yes, you'll be safe here" or something.
Or she's already talking and they're already making deals. Come back here, we'll do this. Tell us this, we'll do this. You know what I mean? My hope always is that they're squealing like pigs. You know what I mean? Just ratting on fucking everyone. And that's why they're getting taken out, because people don't want that, obviously.
She has got to be terrified. Like
she's so cocky though. Ugh.
Oh, but she knows what happened to her boyfriend. Like,
yeah, she's going out.
She doesn't think he killed himself either.
No. There's a lot out there too that says he's still alive, and he rolled on a lot of people too. And this is all that now we'll see. Oh, that brings, well, I'm jumping all over the place. But I do have a question because I don't follow politics as much as you do. So you might actually just know the answer to my questions. But this whole Jeffrey Berman thing, I heard his name, and then he got sat down by Barr. He wanted his job. Is that a thing? What happened with the Attorney General for New York, the Southern District of New York?
Oh, yeah. So, Berman was investigating. He was a watchdog, was a government watchdog. He was investigating a couple of things into Trump and Barr, I believe, but he was also Barr's boss, and so Barr let him go.
Oh.
He's So what happened is the White House reported that he resigned. He came back out and said, "No, I didn't resign." Barr fired him the next day.
Okay. Well, in his time, he was under some of the cases under him. This leads to my next question. Were the NXIVM, or I said that backward, NXIVM. Are you aware of all that? Oh man, it's like it's all over your regular news. I can't believe you don't know it. They are up to their eyeballs in sex trafficking. It was just like a marketing business, and it's all come out that they are heavily involved in trafficking. Yeah, if you just Google them, it'll pop up.
Oh, yeah. No. I remember. I forgot. I remember these guys. Yeah.
So they're tied into a lot of this high level trafficking with STDs and all that. The girl from Smallville.
Yeah.
The little blonde girl. I forget her name. She was singing like a bird. Right. She ratted on everybody. The Wiener laptops and the Clinton cases, those were all under him. So if he's fired, this is just a real question. If doesn't hold that position and someone else is doing it, can he testify against those people? Or no?
I don't know that answer.
That would be interesting. An interesting take to get rid of him just to be able for him to testify.
I don't know that answer. I know that there's probably a pretty easy case to be made that everything that he did was classified in one form or another. So testifying in any capacity is probably, it'll definitely be halted.
Hopefully, if indictments get unsealed, maybe that would change something. I don't know. I just hope that all pans out to where everyone just starts saying what they know and people start getting taken out.
But the thing is that this is what we're talking about is the collapse of civilization around the world.
Yes.
You look at your smile.
Yes. They need replays.
Like, is that cake for me? Well, but that's oh man. Yes.
And that's why I think it's taking so long
go.
because they are need replaced, and so they're having like this is my opinion. Let me forefront all of this with my opinion. And they is me. I just think that a lot of things have to take place, and it's obviously a long game to start. Not only isn't there like 300,000 sealed indictments across the United States right now for all? There's just so much information.
I don't know that.
I'll get you that information too. We should do a whole episode on it. I mean, it could be like 4 parts. There's so much out there, but it's overwhelming to me because I don't know anything about who these people are in their jobs and how it ties. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
What
well, all of that.
do like, you know what I mean? I don't follow any of
all of that shit is, for the most part, unless it's something that will impact the integrity of a case, is public record. Like they are working for the people. A lot of that shit and the hierarchy and all that is all you can't find that out if you look it up.
Heavily redacted, but yes, I've looked at a handful of things. Anywho, I just think it would be, to wrap it all around, I think it would be interesting if he could testify. I don't know that that's true. I don't know if it's possible. I think it would be interesting if that's why he was taken out of that position, so he could be used now that they're rallying up these people and sending them.
I think that Trump has enough skeletons and corrupt activities to otherwise motivate him to get this guy out of, or to fire this guy. But it does make me question how many of Trump's activities were motivated by the by self-preservation from the allegations and the connections to Epstein himself. Like, how much is he deflecting as far as this matter is concerned, notwithstanding everything else he's been corrupt in?
I don't know. I don't care about Trump. I think that,
what decisions
yes,
are motivated? Sorry, to succinctly say that, what decisions has he made that are connected to these allegations? I wonder. I just wonder.
I don't know. I think he's a pawn, just like every other person in power position. Anyone with a title is just a pawn in a much larger game.
He's an unwitting pawn. He doesn't think he's a pawn. He thinks he's in charge, but no, he's being played by.
I just think
Putin for one. Did you hear about Putin fucking? Yes. Oh yeah, but did you hear Putin is now going to be president until he's 83 fucking years old? They signed a order. Russia signed a constitutional change saying that the Russian parliament that said that he is able to run for another, or he's able to be president for another 16 years.
Well.
Which, quick math, makes him 67.
Wow.
Which is,
good luck to them.
What, 10 years younger than Biden and 9 years younger than Trump? Something like that?
Crazy. I wish them all well.
Oh, I don't. Oh, God.
I don't know what to say.
I mean, I don't want anybody to be hurt, but Allison Mack was her name. I'm looking it up.
Yeah, there you go.
And XIVM.
Yes. There's a lot of information there. A lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we were talking about the different sexual abuse worlds, and that's another part of it.
Oof. Yeah. Oh God, you have no idea. Yeah. I've been reading into sex trafficking for like 3 years. Heavily. I've known about it for a long time. It was like brought to my attention like in a weird way when I was much younger. And I just have been researching it heavily for almost, like, October will be like a solid 3 years. So there's so much to it. It's so deep. It's so ugly. There's so many involved. I just have to forever take breaks. It's so depressing. Yeah. And then I can't stop saying, when do the children matter? When do we stand up and say, fuck off. I don't care who you are, what position you have. When do these babies' lives matter? I don't understand. Everyone else matters, but these kids?
What, and more than that, what makes these guys think that they matter more just because they were born lucky?
Yes.
Like,
yes. Because you have money? Because you're there is so much.
Because you're convinced God willed it? Nah. You were just
can't be that.
Nah.
Oh,
your ancestors were just the
man.
worst of the worst. That's the only reason.
Yeah, there's so much ugly in the world. It's awful. Awful, awful, awful. So then it turns into, how much about it do you want to know? Like, I personally feel like you're responsible for the things you do know. So be careful digging into things that you don't want to be held accountable for. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I kind of feel about it. Do
you feel responsible?
I feel like if I just sit here and know this and don't do anything, even if it's telling other people, it's unreal how many people, when sex trafficking rings are being busted up in the news on the regular, that people are like, that's not real. I'm like, it surely is. Like, I don't know. Even if it's just me on this podcast being able to tell somebody else, like, do your own research. It's clearly, evidently there. There's bountiful information to read. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to do something. Yeah. So.
Yeah. We need to eliminate this gene from the gene pool.
Yeah.
Like off of Earth. We need to get rid of all of these people and
start over. Inward. So we need a revolution.
Yes. Anyway, all right. Well, so that's our special report. Well, hold on. Before I say that, do you have anything else?
Not really. There's like a tiny more about Prince Andrew, but it doesn't matter. It's more just details.
No. Prince Andrew, what?
So Virginia Roberts, I read a lot into her story. She is one that Maxwell had taken in and groomed. She into massages that turned into fancier massages, and then turned into threesomes with Epstein and herself and this girl that she was then raped 3 times and had to partake in an orgy with Prince Andrew when Maxwell had brought him into the U.S. sex slave market. That was his young child of choice. So there's plenty of people and information circulating about his involvement. So it has to be the only reason why he is not standing up and volunteering his truth would be there's much to hide. You know what I mean? Why, if you were so innocent, wouldn't you just be like, ask me anything? Like, let's talk about it. Like, it wasn't me.
Which he kind of tried to do with that interview. I think the BBC interview, and it just fucking, that imploded.
It was a car crash. I was reading the headlines, like looking all this stuff up, and I didn't watch the interview, but all the headlines were BBC interview, car crash. I'm like, oh Lord.
Oh, it was horrible. It was, yeah. I mean, it was great. It was great for people who want this guy's testicles removed, but it sucked for him.
Maybe he should be involved in a car crash in a tunnel.
He knows how to do it. He can set him up. All right. Well,
that's what I got.
My thing went up. All right. So anyway, so this has been the Higher Minds Podcast special report. Yes. That is Katie.
And that was Papa Darby.
All right. Deuces, everybody.